doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals. Located in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The sport of baseball became segregated in 1889. In 1947, Jackie Robinson broke the major league color barrier when he joined the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Certainly baseball has grown considerably, and we're quite proud of the role that we've played in it.
Every year on April 15th, all MLB teams celebrate Jackie Robinson Day to honor this civil rights pioneer. We salute Jackie Robinson during Black History Month.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into the Malone Radio Show, sponsored by The Post. Here are your hosts, Executive Director John Goodwin and Athletic Director Michael Hunter. The Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, we back.
Being on the 1 and 2s.
Bands on the 1s and the 2s.
It's great to be back.
Bruh, it's great to be moving around.
Be moving around,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
A little bit under the weather.
Yeah. Yesterday it got me. Oh.
You said, you can tell brothers when they get older, they make noises, start rubbing their knees
for no reason.
Listen, this is the Malone Radio Show, 93.7 The Ticket. John Goodwin here with Mike Hunter. We have a special guest tonight who will be really giving us her story.
Yeah.
Very inspiring.
Very
great information. Before we do that, we know we have to go through our mission and vision. So the vision is to create unity and prosperity throughout Lincoln while honoring the African-American heritage. The mission is to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. And we do that with the holistic programs that we offer. And speaking of programs, let me just say this. Last night was the first annual. Can we say annual? I don't know.
Inaugural.
Okay. You know, because Kevin, if he's listening, he'll check us real quick.
Inaugural
Black History event that Malone has thrown in 69 years.
Wow.
It was a great event. TJ McDowell was the keynote speaker. He did an awesome job. Tyrena and Chastity and Carla and LaShonda and Charlene and everyone else that played a part in helping out did a phenomenal job.
Big shout out to all the award winners.
Big shouts out to Naru Roach, Thomas Christie. Naru won the Ada Robinson Award. Thomas Christie won the Malone Impact Award. And Marcel Kills Enemy. That I'll be trying to get that last name right. He won the Woods Award. And so community. So we are very excited and thankful for all of those individuals who have given to this community that goes unnoticed. They do a lot in this community that people just don't know, sacrificing their family time and their own kids to take care of other people's kids and families. So big shouts out to y'all. Definitely appreciate it.
Very much appreciate it. I hated I had to miss it. It was I was under the weather, but I knew it was gonna be a good one. I didn't want to miss it, but I didn't want to risk getting nobody sick. So
That's good, Mike. That's good. You didn't want to risk getting somebody sick.
I was thinking about coming anyway.
See,
because
that's what we do.
They say
that's what we do.
Because Tyrena was sending out them emails dressed to impress, and I was gonna come in there, with some old school days.
Oh, here we go.
Coming
in like Jerome.
Yeah, you know what?
Jerome. Yeah, that's probably how he was gonna come in.
I'm like my guy on I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Don't you run from me. Listen. Hey, let's get this shout out real quick to the Post. You don't even have it in front of you,
Absolutely.
do you?
Hey, the Post is on and popping. Jesse has been doing his thing down there. So if you guys ever get a chance to make it down to the Post, if you mention us, he might give you a discount. The Post is on 2001 N Street. Go down, enjoy yourself.
Telegraph
District. In the Telegraph District. I be wanting to say, the power and light that off of KC.
Oh, yeah, KC.
Yeah.
Speaking of KC. Speaking of KC, we're not gonna go to the night. We're not gonna go to the night.
We ain't gonna go there.
We're not gonna speak on it.
I've been hearing a lot.
Okay. Okay. Just making sure we're not gonna speak on it.
I feel like somebody took my ball and went home.
No, that's what he does.
Yeah. So I'm just like,
That's what he takes everybody's balls and go home.
Man, it's just
that's how Patrick Mahomes do it.
Man, it's just I just can't. I'm from KC, but I just can't. I don't rock with. I love my city, but I just don't rock with the Chiefs.
Something about that 15. What's so special about that 15?
I bet if he would have grew up on 41st, he would.
And it comes out, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Malone show. Has to be very transparent. But
a big shout out to the Post, though. Yeah. Hey, make sure y'all visit the Post. Holler at Jesse Foster. Mention us. Hopefully you get a discount. Not promising that, though. 2001 N Street. Visit the Post.
Yes. So tonight we want to cover some things. It's some things that we really wanted to go over tonight, but we are going to take a detour. We have in the house tonight Felicia Scott. For those, she is a Lincoln native. Is that right?
Actually, I'm African American and Native.
She said African American and Native. Well, let me change that. You from Lincoln though, right?
I'm a Lincolnite.
There we go. Lincolnite.
Yeah.
That's
Lincolnite.
See, that's that what I ain't gonna say.
That's we have to make sure. She said, first off, let me just tell you what my culture is.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna tell you where I'm really from.
Yeah, before we get started.
I'm
Should I go for the Chiefs?
Let me throw that out there now.
Lord. Here we go.
And she's a Chiefs fan.
I don't know why.
So I guess Mike is probably gonna turn his back on the whole show.
Yeah.
So let me ask all the questions. Felicia, welcome to the show tonight.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We are excited about this show because the person that is sitting next to me, the female that is sitting next to me. I was about to say me. Hey, yeah, because Mike been through some things too. But Felicia has a phenomenal story.
Yeah, she does.
And we wanted her to come on air. She's a part of the Malone Center, even though she's not there anymore. As far as working, she's moved on to do some other greater things. But she will always be a part of the Malone Center and the Malone Center family. And so we wanted to reach out to her and have her come and share a story in hope that it inspire, it educate, it motivates you all that are listening with the information that she gives tonight. So Lisa, tell us a little bit about yourself as far as where you're from, what high school you go to, those in the community that maybe inspired you growing up.
Well, let's see. My name is Felicia Scott, and I moved to Lincoln when I was 12 years old. I went to Leffler Junior High. From there, I went on to Southeast High. I graduated in 94. Um, some of the inspiration right now that's been a part of my pathway, obviously, has been thanks to the Almighty God.
Mm-hmm.
I also would like to say that in spirit, my mom has been there. My siblings who are here now, they are great support for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have also created my own little family of people that have had my back, always from Southeast Community College. I've had the dean behind me. I've had my advisors behind me, along with the Malone Center. When I came to the Malone, I was John. You knew I was just fragile
Mm-hmm.
when I first started, and now I think being at the Malone and having that experience, has really helped me to want to go ahead and pursue to be a better person. So
And you mentioned that you were fragile, and these are the conversations that we need to have as a community to help someone else. Sometimes when you go through things, these different experiences or these obstacles, those hurdles, I must say, you go through those things not just for yourself but for others. It's that testimony. I remember an old pastor of mine would say, if you don't go through no tests, all you have is money. So shouts out to Reverend Davis. But tell us a little bit about why were you fragile? Like what before you got to the Malone Center, some things that may have happened. Share as much as you want to share. You don't have to share everything, but if you don't want, but we want you to feel comfortable in sharing this information to where maybe it can help someone else.
definitely. You know what? I'm just going to start with, what I talk about today. I'm not looking for sympathy.
Hmm.
What I'm hoping that I can do is get this message out to others who are still substance abuse users, who are still suffering, or others that are suffering with mental health. That seems to be another big thing. So, that's what my privilege right now for you being able to, where I feel honored is to be able to sit here, is to be able to offer that. On the other hand, what brought me up to this point? Well, I guess you could say from being fragile. I come from a long history of drug addiction. I was in a deep drug addiction cycle for about 15 to 20 years. Shortly right after I turned 21 is when my life just it just took a curve. It went down really fast. It spiraled real fast. From that point on, being an active user, there was a lot of things that I experienced during that point of time. Not to mention that I'd say I came from a pretty decent family. Mom was a
Hmm.
single parent, and I had my siblings there to support, and things like that. So I would like to think that we was pretty had good unity. But anyways, so when I got involved with, well, when my addiction started, I was just 21 years old and fresh and new out on my own and still learning. And I was kind of naive. I was naive to the fact that, there's drugs out there that could really harm someone. I was naive to even think that, I would be the one. I mean, who wakes up and says they want to be an addict for the rest of their lives? And
Hmm.
obviously nobody. So anyways, I went through this addiction in the beginning where it was really hard for me. I experienced a lot of mental abuse. I experienced a lot of sexual abuse to myself as well as maybe being assaulted. I experienced a lot of physical abuse throughout these times of my addiction. So right there, it just kind of puts the citizens of Lincoln, um, give them a sense of awareness that these are the things that go on when there's addiction going on in a city. So, anyways, I experienced a lot of these things. I had children in the process. Of course, my addiction was strong, so thank God for my mom. She ended up stepping up and stepping in, and my siblings to help me with that, with getting my children raised in the best way that they could. Um, I would like to talk about a little bit about when I was out in those streets and some of the things, some other things that was, that I experienced during that time. As far as just being homeless. There was a time I was homeless. Um, there was a time that I remember. Um, I used to have seizures. I let my addiction get that bad that um, I would have seizures, and I would come to, and I didn't know where I was or what I was doing or how I even got there. But that's just how bad my addiction had took me down. And it's true. Once you're in addiction, you know, the hardest thing for an addict is to come back.
Mm,
When we do come back, this is that fragile point you were talking about,
mhm,
John. When we do come back, we're fragile. Um, we haven't quite rebuilt ourselves. Hadn't quite rebuilt myself when I came back. I had broken myself down so much in my addiction that it was hard for me to even, when I tell you, John, I fought hard. I fought with tooth and nail. Excuse me, you guys. I'm just going to give it real with you, okay?
mhm,
I fought tooth and nail to get back to where I'm at today. And when you want to say, I heard this, it was a saying, you can't move from another person's backyard until you clean up your own poop
mhm,
in your backyard. And I feel like Lincoln was a pretty big backyard for me. So I had a lot of poop scooping to do.
mhm,
So anyways, I just want to touch on that. But bringing up to the point of being fragile, when I finally did get that strength and got up and dusted my knees off and I says I'm not going down no more. I just want to say I get that from Rocky Sylvester Stallone. He's one of my favorite.
mm,
All his movies are inspiration to me. I just feel like I'm the eye of the tiger sometimes.
mhm, mhm,
So anyways, but when I said I wasn't going down no more, I stayed up. And that's when I must say when the fight really started for me. Because not only had I had wanted to come back into society and be a productive citizen of society, I also needed to come back to society and still rebuild myself and put on my armor, if that makes sense. I needed my armor, um, a strong armor, a strong shield, that I could walk with and know that, I have enough strength that I can make it. When I came into Malone, I was still fragile. I wasn't sure of myself. My mental health was still not the best. When we're out there in those streets, we're broken down so much. And when we do come back, we still have all that shame. We still have all that guilt. We still have that embarrassment, and that's what I had to deal with when I decided to become a productive member of society. Excuse me. I had to come back. I had family relationships that I had ruined. I had friendship relationships that I had ruined. Not along with just even my own self, just feeling inadequate in my own skin. And the thing I noticed when we do come back, when I came back, the thing I noticed is that someone told me just because I decide to change doesn't mean that everybody has to change with me because I'm the one choosing to change. And what
mhm.
I choose to change to be, I will soon attract those same kind of people of the change that I want to be.
Right.
So, anyways, I mean, these are just some of the old heads that
Mhm,
told me when I was, back in when I was still wet behind the ears and still trying to clean up in my backyard. Because I thought when I come back, everybody was going to embrace me.
Mm.
There is no embracing.
mm,
There's no embracing when you come back because that crowd is waiting to see what you're going to do. They're tired of embracing. So, anyways, when I came back, I was appalled that nobody wanted to embrace me and how hard I fought to come back. But at the same time, it gave me hope and it empowered me and it gave me strength because I want to come back and say, hey, I'm back.
Mhm.
I'm not going down no more. I know you've heard this before, but I'm going to keep moving and I'm going to move forward. So, that's kind of what brings me up to all the way up to Malone, but it also brings me to a point where in my life, being broken down so much, I had to find out who I wanted to be. I didn't know who I wanted to be. I had been broken down. I was already splattered. What did I want to do? Who is Felicia?
Mhm.
And that's one of the hardest things that I'll speak for myself, when I came back from addiction, the one thing that I needed, I felt like Whitney, I want to be me. Y'all
Mm.
ever heard that one?
Mhm.
Mhm.
I wanted to be me, and I just wasn't sure how to go about doing it. Um, it took a lot of me. I remember it was probably about a year and a half after I um, had my last use. And I remember my mental health was so off the roof, and it was just out of whack. And this is just another thing that, you know, Lincoln citizens need to be aware of on the next stage of when it comes with substance abuse users and what follows those things. Just because we quit using a drug doesn't mean that we're better, because come along with that, we have all that abuse that we put upon ourselves, much as more than mental abuse as well. And so it was probably about a year and a half after I had gotten clean and stuff, and really figured out, okay, this is what I want. And so I remember just thinking that I was going crazy. I literally thought I was losing my mind. I'm going to share this with Lincoln because this is what happened. This is real. Um, I thought I was losing my mind. And what it was is that I had all that negative in there, and that I had not been able to, I never got a chance to feel that stuff. So when it was finally coming to me, it was like, what's going on? My brain was like, whoa, this is too much. My heart ached. My brain ached. I felt inadequate. I felt like I didn't belong. I felt like I had nothing. I had like I had nothing to offer to anyone, let alone myself. So I would have never imagined me sitting here right now today. I would have never imagined this 9 years ago. I would have never thought I would be here 10 years ago. But I'm here.
And you just said a mouthful, and we want to unwrap this. We got to take a quick break. This is some great information. You are a strong woman. We're gonna talk more about this. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Thank you.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it. Slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it. Slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up.
Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh yeah, this is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Now back to the Malone Radio Show, sponsored by The Post on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. We are back. The Malone Show, 93.7 The Ticket. We are here. Mike and I are here with
We got the
Scott.
juice.
Man.
We got the juice.
He rocking. He rocking.
We got the juice.
Ben is back.
Ben is back.
Ben is back. Felicia, you said something. I mean, what you're saying right now, I'm sure is going to help millions of people. You mentioned that you had to fight. You had to fight back. Sometimes when we see people, we see the beginning or when they first start their addiction. We'll see the end. Either that be alive, either that be sick, in the grave, or the success. But the in between is what we really need to know to help, because there are times when we're going through things or there may be someone going through an addiction and they're trying everything and you're successful, but sometimes they don't hear the in the middle of how did you do it? So you mentioned before we went to commercial that you had to fight back. What are some of the things that you what did you do to fight back? What does that mean?
To me, when I say fight back and I had to fight hard, I had to fight for all the trials and tribulations that I had to endure, for all the violence that I had to endure, for all the abuse that I endured, um, the sicknesses that I endured with myself, like I said earlier, with seizures, you know, um, I had to have some kind I had to have some kind of faith in something. And I had not quite figured it out where it was coming from or how to get this faith. But I honestly believe, I'm gonna take it back old school. For all those times that I felt like I was walking, I wasn't walking. I'm just gonna go to church just for one quick second, okay? Because if it wasn't for him upstairs for me, I don't know where I would be today. That was a lot of my that is where a lot of my fight and my incentive to want to come back to is my higher power. Because when you're out there in addiction, there is no one out there with you. You're fighting it alone. There was times, I'm just going to give a couple examples of my fights, that I had to fight back. One there was a time where I was in a predicament and that I had came across these two guys and they decided to take me out of town and we went out of town and all of a sudden things went down south. They were abusing meth. I hadn't got to meth yet. I was still smoking crack, and things went really crazy for me. They were talking about they were going to kill me, if I told. That was a fight. I was stuck in the middle of the darn country and I didn't know where I was. And I definitely didn't know how to get back, you know. But the fight that I had in me was I'm not finna let these guys hurt me. Either I'm gonna have to take this risk and get out of this van and try to go find somewhere, or I can sit in here and not and know the unknown of what's gonna happen to me. That was one of those times where I was truly scared. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I was gonna nothing. I won that battle though. Came across an old couple's house and had to knock on the door and run away, but they opened up the door for me. They called the sheriff and I went on into town. That was a fight for me. My fights my fights were violent and life-saving fights. Because I feel like once I overcame that, that was one battle that might get me closer to where I'm at today. Um, there was some more little fights that I've had as far as just, you know, I used to say that I want to, I want to stay pretty. So when I come back, I still had that hope of coming back. When I come back, I want my boys to still say their mom's pretty and they wouldn't be embarrassed or ashamed of me. And that was one of those things that was, you know, it may seem like, oh, she just wanted to stay pretty to get, but it was one of those things that just kept me more eager to get back to my boys so they could be proud of me, you know. There's I don't want to just always talk about the bad times of the fights because I mean, yes, that's what it was about. But a lot of those fights also came within myself spiritually. Is this who you really want to be? Is this what you want to be for the rest of your life? How are you going to change this? When are you going to be ready for this? When are you going to be ready to take that stand and say, I'm done? This is not okay. You're better than that. Hell, after 10 years of using heavily, I should have caught on then. But here it is, 5 or 15 to 20 years, I finally caught on. And this is after seizures in the dope man's house, damn near dropping a baby. You know what, John? I'm going to tell you about this other fight that I had. I remember when I was inside of an apartment, I was smoking crack. And little did I know, but I knew, but I didn't know, At some point in time, I had a seizure in there, and they left me. They left me. And this is how it is, y'all. This is how it really goes in Nebraska when you're out there in addiction. They don't nobody care. The dope dealers don't care about you. Those other friends don't care about you. They care what you got and what you can do and how much money you can bring. Don't nobody care. I learned that from an old dealer. He told me, he said, and I didn't take offense because I have a chocolate colored skin. He said, come here, Black, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You know, and I was like, well, what? He says, I'm going to tell you. The dope game don't give about you, and they couldn't get no realer. And he said, and neither do I.
Wow.
Wow. So, man. Now, I've known and I've witnessed a lot of activity, and some of the activity that you are speaking about. Where I grew up, those were some of the things that you could just look out the window or look out your front door, and boom, there it is. So my question to you is, how young were you when you first started using, and what drug did you choose to first start using?
That's a good question, Michael. I remember as early as I don't know, my mom's up there and my aunt's up there, but
They already know
they
that.
already know. They'd already seen that I was being fast. I remember at the earliest, at the age of 5, I used to sneak in there with my auntie, and they was in there gambling or whatever they was doing, you know, the Saturday night old school stuff, but you know. And I remember pretending like I was clearing off the beer cans.
Mm-hmm. And grabbed a cigarette.
And then, I would pretend like I was clearing off the beer cans, and I would take it to the trash and take a little sip of it. This is at the age of 5. You know, the next time I remember really kind of getting involved with some, well, it was alcohol, and then I was turning about, it was about 12 years old. Mom was going to work the night shift, and of course, we got bored, and we wanted to have these little parties and be cool. First time I ever smoked pot was I was 16, and I was still, but the drinking and all that, it just wasn't quite crazy yet. When I got about 19, I remember just kind of tooting a little stuff and through the nose, but it wasn't that serious.
So
I got introduced to crack cocaine by a family member.
Okay. So would you say that before you start using powder, would you say that, how was that introduced to you?
Just work buddies. We were young, we were work buddies. We all worked at the same telemarketing company, and we were just hanging out, and every now and then we just kind of.
Okay, so, and I'm making a chain because I want people to understand that if you know, so if you believe that marijuana is just marijuana, I'm gonna call you foolish. And I'm gonna call you foolish just for the simple fact of, because there's a chain, especially when we dealing with, now if you're a grown person, do whatever it is you do, but I'm talking about the kids wise. If you know someone who is smoking marijuana, you're gonna eventually come across somebody with powder.
Yes.
And because you're gonna get bored of one, because that's gonna be you're gonna look for a new high.
Yeah.
And then so once you step across that threshold and start utilizing something else, now you know somebody with powder.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know somebody with power, you know somebody with rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then from there, it's just going to keep on graduating and graduating and graduating.
Yeah.
And I believe there's a lot of young people out there that they truly believe that marijuana is a finish line.
Mm-hmm.
and they believe that that's going to be all that they do within their lifetime. But like you said, you start to drinking, you start, everything else will come into play. And if you do one thing so much, it gets boring, especially when you're trying to live on the edge and you want to look for new things or whatever the case may be. So that's why I say that to say, because it's a chain, and everything that you have talked about tonight, it I lived it. My mom, may she rest in peace. We would come home and there's new people in our house, and we would just say, "Mom, where you get this one from?" Well, my mom, she didn't saw somebody on the streets that had a drug addiction. She didn't brought them home, and now she's mentoring them, taking care of them, and getting them back on their feet or whatever the case may be. So it was nothing new for us to see that, and it was nothing new for us to, some of our Christmas presents or whatever that we could afford, come up missing or whatever the case may be due to family members and or whatnot. So it's not a Lincoln thing. I mean, it's a thing, like you said, 5 years old. That's one of them environmental things. That's one of those things that we as parents have to watch out what we're doing around our kids, because they're picking up what we're putting down.
Yes.
And for us as parents, especially our culture, we real quick to say it wasn't our kid. When a teacher, when a mentor, when somebody says something, we're quick to say, nah, that ain't. We're quick to defend negative behavior. But one thing that we had when we was growing up, we had a community, because the people down the street could say something to us. We could get a whooping down the street and then come home and get another one. And so now you can now you can't even say nothing to these kids nowadays. Because God forbid if you say something to them, now their parents gonna look at you like the parents ain't even gonna worry about what they was doing. The parents gonna turn around and worry about what you said to their kid. And that's why I believe that these kids are misled today. Every time you look at a TikTok or Facebook or whatever the case may be, it's our kids, majority. I'm not saying all, but it's our kids that they put up and exploit in a negative way. But we quick to pull these phones out and record what it is that we're doing, and not understanding what it's doing to us as a culture.
It's remarkable, Felicia. A lot of there's so many people that don't make it. They die or been left dead, overdosed.
Yep.
So many people, and you're one of the few who time is not up yet. Regardless of how much you did, your time is not up. And basically, really what you're doing today is educating and helping someone who is listening. And it may not be crack or cocaine, marijuana, but they may be addicted to something.
Mm-hmm.
And, addictions comes in many forms, right? And what you're doing is helping someone. Like, you thought that was you're alive for yourself, but you're alive not just for yourself, but for other people. That someone is overcoming by the words that they're listening to today, saying that if she could do it, I'm on my way of doing it too. The reason why you ended up at the Malone Center, and I never shared this with you, is when Christiana came and said, "Hey, I think I have a perfect person. I'm just not sure. What do you think?" I said, "Well, tell me about her." She told me about you. I said, "You're perfect." Christiana said, "Yeah, I think she is too." I said, "Yep, she's perfect because you've lived through it." And when a person lives through something, that means that their work is just starting. And you were able to help women after woman after woman after woman after woman with their issue, and you're still doing that today. And so are we good on this break? Because I'm about to go in, Ben. So what this said 2 minutes, brother. 2 minutes. But I just want to say, thank you. Thank you, one, because you're sharing this story. And most people don't. Most people they're scared, they're embarrassed. But you're saying, you know what? If I made it through this hell, right, let me help somebody out of theirs. Exactly. And that is remarkable. Like, you're a miracle sitting next to us, because there are many who did not wake up. Yep. You were left alone. They left you there. You had a seat. They left you there. You're talking about mental health. You're talking about sexual abuse, physical abuse, homelessness, seizures. You've overcome all of those things. Why? Why did you overcome? Why are you left here? Look, you just getting started. You just getting started. And what I want to do is give you an opportunity when we come back from break to talk to the people out here in the community. Give them something to hold on to say, hey, first we need to know what you're doing right now. Oh, yeah. Let's take this quick break. We'll be back on 93.7, The Malone Show.
Thanks, John. Thank you.
Tune in to The Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's The Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Hog Wild's giant stuffed baked potatoes are anything but basic and really hit the spot when you're craving a little comfort food. Nothing is more satisfying than a Hog Wild baked potato loaded with butter, sour cream, cheddar cheese, bacon bits, and chives. Add your choice of a Hog Wild house smoked meat like pulled pork, chicken, or brisket for a little extra. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Now back to the Malone Radio Show, sponsored by The Post on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yeah. We're back. Hey. Make sure you guys go visit The Post, 2001 N Street. Holler at Mr. Jesse Foster. Tell him we sent you. You might get a discount.
You might get a discount. Has anybody got a discount yet?
I don't even know. Yeah. Let me know if you got a discount yet.
Listen, we're here with Felicia Scott. She's been kicking us with some real life information. Great testimony. She's just doing amazing things. We definitely want to end on a positive note. We've been talking about her life. She's just given just a little bit of it. You all have gotten just a little bit about what her story is, and in hope that she starts this book and start getting on tour and start helping not just Lincoln. I know she just mentioned Lincoln, but her message is for the world. But Felicia, real quick, how long have you been clean?
My last use of methamphetamines and crack cocaine and has been since June 26th of 2015.
Wow. Congratulations.
Almost 10 years.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're doing that thing. And
at a time.
You've been one day at a time. Right. You've been clean that long. What are you doing now? What are the things that you're doing now?
Oh, right. This is the great stuff. This is the stuff I like to talk about. Well, I'm going to say about the past 3 years, I've been really trying to get my mental health in order and things like that so I can carry on. Some of the things that I'm doing right now for myself and that I have done is I decided to go back to school in 2020 for phlebotomist. And then I decided to go ahead and carry on and better myself with enrolling in Southeast Community College for my Associates of Applied Science.
Wow.
And also peer support, which I have graduated just recently, December the 14th of 2023.
Congratulations.
Very hats off to myself and my class that graduated. And it was a really good feeling for me. It was one of those accomplishments. It was one of those milestones. It was one of those empowering moments to me. It was one of those build of faith to me. It was one of those, I did it. So, that's what I've been doing. And right now I'm currently working at a place, I guess you could say, where I'm dealing with substance abuse. And I like it because I can relate to that and I can give back and I can give hope. And then furthermore, at the same time, it keeps me going and it allows me hope for myself too. I've always said I wanted to help people. I just didn't know it was going to be this way.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the positive things. And I have my family in my life. I love that.
Nice.
I love it. Like I said earlier, not everybody's going to want to change with me, but it's really nice to have, worked so hard to have some of these things come together for me that I had once abandoned so many years.
Alicia, listen, you need to get some shirts, man. I'm going to tell you offline what that shirt should say. I'm not going to say it online because they'll steal it. But offline, when we're done with this, I'm going to give you you're going to have to wear some shirts, get these shirts made for yourself. If I am listening to you, I am struggling with an addiction right now. And I'm listening to you talk. Or if I'm in front of you, whatever that addiction is, what would you tell that person? Give them something, encourage them, motivate them, whatever. What would be those words to that individual that is struggling with something right now?
Don't give up. Even though it seems hard right now, don't give up. That was my thing, is I didn't give up. Do not give up. There is people that care about you. You're not alone. And for the most part, if I did it, you can do it. And that's true. I can't really give a person of how to get back to where they want to be, but I can let them know that it is possible. And it's possible through me, because I'm standing here saying it's possible. And I'm giving ideas, not ideas, but I'm giving reasons of why I think it's possible, because I've made the impossible possible. So do the next right thing for yourself. If you're out there in addiction, do the next right thing for you. You're not alone.
Listen, if you're listening to these words tonight and you're going through something, please, she said it. She's been through it. You're talking to someone, or you heard someone tonight who has been through mental abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, homelessness, seizures. She fought back. She was left for dead. She worked her way through. She graduated out of school, got her job. Listen, these type of stories are not very often, right? A lot of these stories don't end this way. So if you're listening to this, take heed, please take heed. Felicia Scott, thank you so much.
Thank you
for sharing your story, just a little bit of your story tonight with us and with this community. And we are going to have you on again so you can give us a little bit more of the story to help us out a little bit more, and some more other things and tools that you have used that can help other people that are struggling and doing the things that they're doing out there to better them and to better their families. This is the Malone Radio Show on 93.6 Ticket with my main man, my frat brother.
Yes, sir.
Go Mob, Michael Hunter.
Go Mob, baby.
Felicia, until we meet again.
Yeah.
Ben with the ones and
with
twos.
the ones and twos.
Hey, we'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a good week.
We out of here. Peace.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every